Back at it, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. You guys know the cast and the crew at this time. DMAC, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. Joik Bell, former Lions great, Division II Harlan Hill Award winner as well. Fish in the bowl, Sawyer in the booth. And you know what? Look, we have the lineup of topics we're going to discuss. Certainly the Red Wings got a win. It was much-needed win. I was texting back and forth with DMAC last night. We'll get to some of those thoughts. This whole COVID situation, too, I think we've reached a crossroads with that. Baker Mayfield has just tested positive within the last hour, so he may be unavailable for their game. We'll discuss that. I think it's time to close the book on Urban Meyer. We'll get into that as well. This National Signing Day thing, I've never understood the love affair with it. We'll discuss. But before we do any of that, our guy Sawyer, he's been with us over a month now. Like that, pushing a couple months that he's been here with the show. So he's in now. He's a part of the fabric. He's a part of the culture. But Sawyer fell for something today that I think a lot of people fall for. And really? I'm not blaming anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying this.
This is and you know this through experience.
I know this through experience because I lived it. I speak as somebody who has fallen for this many, many times. Office donuts. We had a viewer that was kind enough to bring in some donuts.
It was Ellen. Thank you.
Ellen, thank you very much for the donuts. Brought some toys too for the Stuff a Studio that we're doing. You see all the toys around. And DMAC's doing it right now. There he is. Look at that. Here's what Sawyer did. And Joik, I'm curious to get your thoughts. You don't operate this way. I had a period of my life where I did, but I'm no longer that way. I'm not judging by any means, but I will say this. Sawyer walked up to the donuts, a man on a mission. You pulled the glazed one out, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He pulled the glazed one out. Smashes the glazed one. That's fine. I support that. Glazed are my favorite, Joik. Those are my favorite.
He didn't go for a second one, did he?
So right after he smashes the glazed one, he circles around and watches DMAC.
I walk by.
Yeah. He
and
smashes
I went,
one.
Donuts. And I crushed the Bavarian chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Just stood no chance.
Two bites and
didn't even
walked
question
away.
the flavor, too, by the way. Just walked up, snagged it, kept going.
But then I turned around, said hellos, and I came back, and I stopped, and this conversation I walked into, and this is where you were telling me.
This is what I was telling him, because I saw that look in Sawyer's eye. I knew what he was doing. He was going back in for another. He was sizing it up. Now, he went to a different flavor and everything like that. But, Sawyer, I have to ask you this because I told you it. And here's the thing with donuts. The laws of diminishing returns. And you eat that donut, and there's nothing better than that first donut.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you immediately grab for the second one.
Yep.
Trying to chase the high of the first one.
Oh, good.
But it never lives up to it.
Yep.
It never lives up to it. So you did the thing. You changed up the flavor. What'd you go with on the second one?
Went with the vanilla dip.
Ooh. The vanilla
my second
dip.
favorite
But it
after the Boston
had
cream.
sprinkles. I got to give it to him, though. If he went to the plain glaze, he did. All the bells and whistles were on the second one. So if he was going to get that pop, he sort of knew what he was doing.
Yeah. He was going all in.
But I had to. But no, the second one just now. I
It
feel
never lives
like
up.
I'm in a sugar coma.
Yeah. Joik, you with me on this one, man, where that second donut never lives up to the first one. It's not that you're not going to eat it, but it never makes the grade, right?
You know how you a little trick? You break it in half, and then you eat half of it, right? And that would be your one whole. And then you go back and you eat the second half of it. And that way, that would be like your second time going back.
Yeah,
so you
I'm
have
fat,
to go
though.
You said what?
I said I'm fat, though. I need 2 donuts.
You need 2 donuts? So were you satisfied with the second one?
Game?
Yeah, what was the verdict on the second one? It didn't quite live up to the first one, did it?
It was close, but not quite. I mean, because the sugar, and the sprinkles, it got me up there, but yeah.
It just didn't deliver at the level, and it
That
never
sugar
does.
high.
Yeah, it never does. Now, I'll give him credit.
Are you addicted to sugar?
I don't know if I'm addicted. It's one of those things like if you have it earlier on in the day, I'll want it later, but if I don't have it for a while, during the day, then I'm fine at night.
No, this is about to go all the way left, but it's been tests done to show that sugar is more addicting than Coke.
I could see it.
There's been studies done.
I could see it. I mean, look at the way we eat. As a society, look at the way we eat. It's in everything. It's in barbecue sauce. It's in your pasta sauce. It's in your ketchup. Mm-hmm. It's in all these places you think that it wouldn't be, but it is. And and that's a different topic for a different day.
Isn't some frozen vegetables?
Absolutely. It's in a ton of stuff. But with all that being said, this that's a different topic for a different day. But do you guys fall for that too? Do you? And for Sawyer, I'll give Sawyer credit, and I'm not saying that he's totally off the hook because the day is still young here as we just got the show started. It is still morning as we sit right now. Are you going to go in for a third one to try to go back?
No, I can't.
But you've done it before, though, right?
Oh, definitely done it before. But
Listen, I think that's a post-show conversation. I think that he walks by and there's one sitting there. He'll think about it.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, Alan.
E. Schaffer says, that's why I brought the Timbits. Ellen said, that's why I brought the Timbits chaser. So we do appreciate it. I did go in. Now, I don't go over 30 grams of sugar in a day. I had 2 Timbit donuts. I did. I'll test it. I'll get the taste. But then I can very easily walk away from it.
Very easily.
Yeah.
But it takes time, though.
It does. Yeah.
It took you time.
About 6 years, yeah.
About 6 years to get there. Because I was like that with... what was I like that with?
French toast sticks from Burger King?
I don't just walk away from those. I don't just walk away from those.
They got you.
Those have me. But I guess you could say I guess when I gave up, let's say, meat and fish, I thought it would be like tough to walk away. I thought I'll get those cravings and want to go back. And every now and again, I'll get that craving of like, I come home and my mother's in the kitchen. She's frying some chicken. I get those childhood memories of, I just want to bite. I just want a little bit. But other than that, though, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But are you like that? But you're like that with your liquor, though.
Well, I mean, I like to have a good time.
I used to be.
Don't.
You like whiskey?
Yeah, I drink a lot of bourbon. I drink bourbon and gypsy and soda.
But doesn't like the brown, like the bourbon doesn't have a little bit of sugar in it?
Well, they like when they distill it, like they basically cook the sugar out of it, but there is some sweetness to it, yeah. But I'm drinking that an ounce at a time, having like 3 or 4 tops. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not, the sugar content in bourbon. It's not like it's Hot Damn or Fireball or something like that. There's not a syrup to it like there is with some of that other stuff. So, I'll sit around. I'll have 2 or 3 bourbons in a night if I'm just chilling around the house, and maybe if I'm sitting out on the patio. One big cube. Yeah,
the square one or the circle one.
It's a circle one. It's like a ball.
When do you make your switch to the Scotch? When do you officially become a Scotch man?
Once I get to my 50s, I'm guessing.
Okay,
isn't that like the drill?
I don't know.
You guys tell me on our YouTube chat thread. A big hello to everyone that's jumped in the YouTube chat thread. Remember, you can get involved on social media as well if you're listening on the radio, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, 94.7 HD2. Jump in. Let me know. When is there like an age? Like one day you just wake up at an age and you become a Scotch drinker? Like, is that how it works? I don't know. I'm waiting. Like I do. I like the bourbon now.
I just wonder how everybody gets into Scotch. And I mean, I've drank Scotch or whatever like that, but I'm not. I wasn't the Cavassier, sifter sort of dude. It didn't matter what you put in there; it was gone. So I just wonder if is that a dying art? Is it a lost art? Do people still drink that? Do. Is it passed down?
Yeah, my brother-in-law.
Because you don't hear of a younger guy like drinking Scotch that much, do you?
Clomp sauce. I'm 34, and he crushes Scotch. So and my brother.
I just wonder how you get into it.
My brother-in-law is the same. He's mid-30s. He's team Scotch. I mean, he'll drink bourbon with me.
But how do you get into Scotch?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know.
There you go. These are all these grind time with Darren McCarty questions. Just come out here on Big D Energy.
Yeah, Clomp sauce team Elijah Craig. I am too. I'm a big Elijah Craig fan as well. We need to talk about them, get them on board. But we do got a big time show lined up for you. And Sawyer, I'm proud of you, bud. Your taste in board games sucks, as you can see.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, we are doing the stuff of studio. You can see all around me.
That's a good game, though.
It's a great game.
We all agree.
Yeah.
We can all agree the game of life. I said crack, go buy an extra, crack it open, a couple spins to see who it is.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What's your favorite board game, real quick? What's your favorite board game?
I play a lot of Life with my wife and the kids and stuff like that. And a big shout out to Guardian Alarm and Myre for the sponsorship of the Stuff of Studio. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. How you can bring some toys here for the studio as we give them to Mott Children's Hospital. But I like Life a lot.
Sorry, I like Sorry.
Sorry's cool. I'm a big Monopoly guy. No one has 5 hours to play a game.
that's a given. Like everybody likes Monopoly, but like aside from Monopoly.
Well, see, I play the hits, man. Like I run with the classics. I'm not Sawyer over there that plays what is it? Colonization of Terabithia or what is it?
What is Settlers of Catan?
Settlers of Catan. Is there?
All right, hold on. Who have played
Hold
this game before?
Hold on.
I thought that was opera.
Is there anybody that's watching or listening to this show right now that knows what Settlers of Catan?
Settlers of Catan. It's a great game. You know, you trade. You got to get materials, build villages. It's a good time.
What's the narrative of that game?
So like you start and everybody it's split up in a world and everybody picks like 2 places to start settlements at, and then like through rolling the dice each block is numbered. So if you get the number, you get like materials from your land if it has that number. So then you gather up materials and then you have to build villages and roads.
Sort of like the board game of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's just like a medieval type role game.
Hold on here.
Like we're playing it with me.
Hold on here. Dom Rivera, Settlers of Catan is dope.
It's Settlers is goated.
Let's go.
Skipper Sonny says, yeah, I used to play it. Bradley says Settlers Catan. You guys are lying right now to help.
No.
You guys, here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. They feel guilty that you went in for the second donut. They're trying to make you feel better because I know you got a little bit of shame right now, Sawyer. I understand that. They're just trying to make them joy. No one plays that. They're lying.
Morning, guys. Thanks for tapping in. Good to see you.
Oh, man, look at this, man.
Everybody's coming in today. It's a lot of energy today. I feel the energy.
Jojo Rofo. Yeah, I used to play it. Settlers of Catan is great. Come on, man. See, Mike G's my guy. Settlers of Catan sounds as confusing as Aaron Glenn's playbook. So, you know, I don't... Yeah,
it's real.
Come on, bro. No one's playing Settlers of Catan. These guys are lying for you.
Nah.
April, yes. Yes, I am a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yes, April.
I don't know. I just don't buy it. Rack's my guy. I had to use Google to find out what the heck he's talking about. It's the nerds that play. Now all right. Now we're on to something here, Sawyer. Is that true? Can you confirm?
Well, that it's just the nerds that play?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm a nerd. I don't know. I went to Butler.
And you're an F1 fan.
Games. Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of
technical stuff, I
Lagavian
guess,
16?
It's all good.
Scotch?
It's all good. So Neil, you remember
Scotch.
Oregon Trail on the
right?
Cool. So it's the board game of Oregon Trail, pretty much, right? So it's
I played that game at like middle school.
That's
You're
a
not dying, like, every 20
preclude
seconds.
the game into Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
All right.
Catan has a special edition that costs like $500. That's Robert Colosi. Can you confirm that, Sawyer?
I have heard that it does have a big special edition. I've never played.
So it's like the
before.
Pappy Van Winkle of Settlers
It's
of
as
Catan.
big as
Yeah, it's like
Risk.
DLC.
Juice's Ghost says. We all know Risk.
It's a big game, guys.
No, it's not as big as
How big's
Risk.
Catan?
Joy, you've heard of Risk, obviously.
Yeah, of course not. No, I've never heard of that. Ever.
Settlers of Catan,
We
man.
didn't play board games.
Yeah.
I think, what game did I have? My dad had a chess board, and he would teach me chess. So I know how to move the pieces, but I have no strategy. No strategy. I have one strategy, and if you guys make it past that,
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Well, hey, if I don't know that they have this at my bookie, but if there was ever a place where you could bet on some Settlers of Catan, I'm sure it's going to be mybookie.ag that lines that up first. And look, guys, you know, you've heard me talk about them for a very long time here. We are live at the MyBookie studios. They're going to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. If you've been sitting on the sidelines as of late, you hear everybody talking about, you know, $20 on the game here, $50 on the game there, and you've been waiting for the right time to jump in or tap in, as Joy Bell would say. Now is the time with MyBookie. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000, and then boom, you're in the game. Guys, look, bowl season starting Friday, Bahamas Bowl. We're ready to roll. We're ready to kick it off. Bailey Zappi, my guy at Western Kentucky. You want to get down on that action. He's going to be slinging it around the yard. If you want to be in the action for the bowl season, mybookie.ag is the way to go. All you got to do, use the promo code Woodward, and they will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. Very, very easy. Get you a lot of money to get in the game. The bowl season, look, the MyBookie people probably won't like this, but let's talk about real life here. You're going to be around the family, all these parties and stuff like that. Look over people's shoulders, see what the score is on the game. Get you through that night. Put a 20 burger on the bowl game and see what happens for you. Get in the game with mybookie.ag. Remember, they'll double your first deposit with the promo code Woodward. Have a gambling problem? Do the responsible thing. Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the captain's chair. Fish is in his bowl. Sawyer is in his booth playing Settlers of Catan or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Some of you like it, I guess. David Mentier says, made $20 betting on the Red Wings last night. Hey, I hope it was with my bookie. They did bounce back. We will discuss that coming up in just a little bit. But basketball history was made last night. Steph Curry is the new three-point king, 2,974. And counting, the Golden State Warriors beat the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And like we said, Steph Curry, the new three-point leader, and he's not going to be stopping anytime soon. There's no doubt about that. And right, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you saw the record-breaking three-pointer made by Steph Curry. And I want to ask both of you guys this, because both of you guys are big basketball guys. Because I've noticed the side conversation that's popped out about this whole Steph Curry thing. And there seems to be two camps. There's the camps that are like, oh, cool, awesome. And then there's a camp of players like Steph Curry have, quote-unquote, ruined basketball.
They changed the game.
It changed the game.
The game. It's a game changer. It's a GOAT. It's one of those things. What this reminded me of is when Wayne Gretzky, the all-time goal leader, passed Gordie Howe, and you think, wow, this ain't gonna slow down, because how many more years does Steph Curry have left of hitting this record? So I think that that's just the haters or the old school curmudgeons. That's like me saying, oh man, the game has changed and now,
there's no fighting anymore.
There's no fighting in the game. But the game is what it is. It's a three-ball game. It's a shooter's game. He's the best shooter to play ever. He's proven it from distance. And to me, if you watch that, if you're listening and you weren't able to see it, go check out the emotion between Steph Curry, his teammates, his coaches, stuff. This meant something to him. That's all that matters. Meant something to him, his family, and stuff like this. You see his dad out there, whatever else. His mom's looking hot, so there you go. That's all that matters. And if the thing is, look at and get a chance to look at the montage, because it shows him back when he was younger and shooting. But I mean, this is what you've seen. And I remember Steph Curry coming out of Davison, and it was always too small. But man, can he shoot the rock? And what he's done is just, you've seen it more. The 4-point in 3-on-3 and the 3-on-3 basketball that they play, the 4-point shot or whatever like that. So they haven't implemented it, but he's brought it out to the half-court level where it's a makeable shot, and other guys around the league. I mean, he's brought that. He's made the offensive area so much more effective, the scoring zone, because it's behind half court, right? That never usually is the case. So, I mean, hats off to him. And he ain't stopping there. How many does he get to 4,000? I mean, like, how much longer is he playing?
Yeah, I think he touched. And that was my next question. Like, what do you think the number stops? Like, we can throw out numbers. I think he'll be well over 4,000. I think he'll surpass 4,000. That's ridiculous.
So what's he hit a year? What's the average? How many does he hit a year?
Yeah, I'd have to pull up the numbers.
But if you do the numbers right now, this season still isn't over yet, right? But if you include, this would be what he came out in. Where did he come out? 10, 11?
So
yeah, 2009, I think.
300 a year. Is that what we're? Is that
yeah?
What we're
So that's 12
saying?
years.
So yeah,
so this year 13 for him. So is this year 13 for him?
Yeah, he started in 09-10. It's 21-22 right now. So year 13.
So you'll take his number threes right now, and which you really can't do because this season isn't over yet, right? It's not over yet, but
he's making anywhere between 600 to 800 a year, depending on the year. Like in years that he plays all the time,
right.
Doesn't
so
get hurt.
how many more years? Good years? You say
and you got to think
3 more years.
He missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
He missed a lot of games.
Right. So, but here's the one thing, right? Where we're talking about him is
that's how many he's shooting.
When you can shoot the rock like that, as long as you can have your hop or whatever where it is, you can last a lot longer than having to bang underneath the rim or play physical or whatever. We don't look at him as a stalwart defensive player, so. His duration, right? You could sit him out there. He's a guy that could play as long as he wanted, sitting out there if you just feed him the ball to shoot, right?
The most he ever made was in 15-16. He made 402 while shooting 886. Last year, he made 337. He did have some injuries in the year prior to that. He's already made 145 this year in 27 games. So I think he's a real viable threat to make 400 again this year. So, I mean, just put it... Be conservative with it. Say he makes 300 a year. Like if he stays healthy. So what's that? He's probably got what?
Yeah,
he's 33. So he's got what? 3 to 4 more years of that in him.
I don't know.
So you're talking another 1,000. I think.
You can't say that, right?
You can't say that
because he's not taking too much wear and tear on his body, like say LeBron going to the hole. Like LeBron is switching his game up to take more shots like this, so he can have a little bit more longevity in his career. If you go back to everyone's sending him out congratulations from Spider to LeBron James to his brother Steph Curry to Tom Brady. Everyone's giving him like props. KD, Shaq, Coach Card, and then also obviously Ray Allen, right? But if you look at, it was one person who said something about Steph Curry that kind of stuck out to me. The way he changed the game, this is from Reggie Miller, the way he changed the game is almost like how Babe Ruth changed baseball with the long ball. He said that he changed the game with the three-point ball. How all 30 teams approach the game is because of number 30. This is absolutely an awesome experience, and it's true. Like, team, you look around now, guys, it used to always be the flashy dunks. Now guys want to shoot the three. Like, Steph Curry is one of the only guys I've ever watched play that when he missed, I'm surprised. Like, I'm always for certain when he shoots the ball, he's going in.
Every time.
Every time. How many players can you say that about? That when they shoot the ball, they miss. You're surprised. Like, how did he miss that?
Let me ask you this, Deal, because you watch a lot of shooters and and whatever else. But is it what impresses you most?
The range. It's the range. Look at the threes that he shoots, and he's a career 43%. He's an alien, man. He's an alien. The range that he shoots them from, the percentage that he makes them at. He's just different, man. He's different than everybody else. And remember, too, and Joyke will appreciate this. This is a guy that had one Division I offer in college. Davidson was the only Division I offer he got. And look what he did to the game of basketball.
And look what he did for that program.
Right.
And
then into Golden State, too. I mean, resuscitated a franchise that hadn't done anything since the 70s. Like, they were a lot of fun. They were always like, we talked about Team Bs before. Golden State was always kind of my Team B when they had Baron Davis and stuff because they lose games 140 to 130, and I like that stupid crap.
I like Baron Davis too.
And Baron Davis a beast, man. But through all that, it's the range and the percentage that he makes them at, and he has changed the game. But I'll tell you guys this: yes, Steph Curry changed the game. Period. He also came along at the exact right time with the advent of analytics. And being around Greg Camp, he was one of the best offensive coaches in college basketball. I mean, don't believe me, look at the numbers. He pointed this out to me when I was, early on in my broadcasting career. He would always talk about this in practice. And this is, I think, where people get a little confused when they say Steph Curry's hurt the game of basketball. Where, do you think it's, over the long run, is it more valuable to shoot a 20-foot jump shot or a three-point shot?
Three-pointer.
And why is that? Because three's greater than two.
Three's greater than two. That's
and that's the line.
That's rule math.
Yeah, that's three's greater than two. And the make percentage from 20 feet the fall off from your 3-point make percentage to your make percentage from 20 feet isn't worth not shooting the three. Like, common sense just got applied to it. That's why. Like, everybody that's bitter about it that says, he's changed the game and I don't like the game of basketball now because it's all 3-point shots. Well, why wouldn't it be? At least in terms of at the expense of the mid-range jumper. Like, we all loved Rip Hamilton here, and he's one of the best mid-range shooters in the history of basketball. That doesn't make sense anymore. That's why you don't see it. Mm-hmm. Is that crazy? I mean,
it's funny because you look back and you see him now as the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, right? The greatest 3-point shooter of all time.
Right.
Well, when he came out, this is what they said about him. Stevens' explosiveness and athleticism are below standard. This is on his draft report. Also, he's not a great finisher around the basket. He needs to considerably improve as a ball handler. Stevens must develop as a point guard to make it in this league. This is what they said about him 12 years ago.
I thought that. I thought, no way is this guy going to be a factor in the NBA. I mean, he could be, because at that time too there were skill positions. Like, the game's always had the 3-point shooter, be it Craig Hodges or you go throughout time. They've had the 3-point specialist. The game's always had that. I thought maybe he could carve out a role as that, but the way that he's able to shake and create his own shot, even as a shooter, and to some degree, those criticisms I think are still valid to some point. Now, he's perfected that little floater in the paint,
but
so he can finish at the rim.
What is valid? Because he's a good finisher at the basket. He can.
Well, finish,
he can finish at the basket.
He can. There's a difference between being a good finisher at the basket and you can finish at the basket.
What he changed, you nailed it, Neil. Right where you said the 3-point shooter. There used to be the guys standing in the corner, right around, and you knew where the shots were going to come from. He creates his shot from anywhere, and he creates it himself. He doesn't need anybody else to create that shot for him. Well, you never know where he's going to shoot it from.
Yeah, you know what? It's also hard chasing him around all those picks. It's very hard to chase him around those picks.
No doubt, especially when there's 4 guys trying to get him loose.
That is a specialty of his as well, is being able to run off picks, get open, not dribble, go right up with the shot. He can also dribble, create his own shot. So at this point, how do you stop him? How do you stop a guy like...
He stops himself because when he's off. Right, when his shot's not on.
You just hope he's the kind of dude you just hope he misses.
You just hope he misses.
It's like when Barry Sanders was running, there were a lot of the great defensive players at the time. There's like, you hope you tackle him.
Yeah, you can only hope to contain him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, when he gets it cooking, but they are fun. And in his prime, I guess you would say, once you get to 33, you can talk about your prime days, DMAC. Is that fair? That's fair, right?
Sure.
I mean, he's still a great player and stuff like that. But when that Golden State offense was humming right around the time, they were can't miss television. It was fun to watch. You could see the wave start.
But what makes him valuable is, like you said, there's also other weapons that you have to watch out for, right? You're talking about the guys you're talking to, the Klay Thompsons, and then you got Draymond down low. You're talking about it's not the 3-point shooter that stands in the corner, maybe like the Robert Horry or the Ray Allen or something like that. This is the guy who's moving around, running around. You don't know if he's going to get it, shoot it. Like, that's the whole thing, is that he can shoot it from anywhere. There's not, like, if you looked at his hot spots or whatever, he's probably shot the ball from everywhere in the offensive zone, right? If you went career shot, right, where you look at, like, a lot of guys, but he'd have the X everywhere that he's tried to do it. Now, it'd be amazing to you and I if we looked analytically to see where his hot spots are, because they're probably not right outside the 3-point zone. They're probably 6 feet behind it, or 8 feet, or 7 feet, where guys, because the mentality on defense, right? You got to think too how you change the game.
And it's great, man. Like what he's doing, so he's taking this opportunity to give back. So with that shot, him and Armour are building 3 new basketball courts, one in Oakland, one in Charlotte. He broke the record at the Garden. Like, look at the history there, right?
Yeah, if you're going to break a baskall record, that's the place to do it.
That's the place to do it, right?
Yeah.
And he's also building a brand new basketball court for the community out in New York City. This is all around great. I'm happy for him, and nobody's more deserving. I love seeing guys that are told they aren't good enough to come out and do something good. And he didn't do something good. He made history.
He did. Want to talk for a couple seconds about the Foaling Warehouse, home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Look, your friends have done it. Your coworkers have done it. If you haven't been down to the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck, do yourself a favor and go check it out. You'll be stunned what a good time you have. You can do a corporate party, team building event, or just pull up on them and do some open play. All those are available to you at the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You can reserve lanes privately, as we talked about, too. You can come in for the open play however you want to do it. You can do it. They have over 100 beers available. There's multiple full bars. They have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. How great is that? Sawyer reaped the benefits of the mystery beer vending machine, pulled a PBR out for just $2. Sawyer was the big winner. It was $2. He eats 2 donuts. There's a lot of symmetry there with Sawyer. But the Foaling Warehouse is a spot to be. Plenty of good night in Detroit starts at the Foaling Warehouse. Best part, too, you want to do the food angle? You can bring your food with you. You can have it delivered, Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever you want to do. That's available to you as well. Come get your Foal on. Check it out at FoalingWarehouse.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sport Network. My name is Neil Rule. He's DMAC, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the captain's chair. Also, Fish and Sawyer here in the house. We are squad deep. As we like to say, get involved on our YouTube channel. Jump in the chat thread that's going on there. Our social media handles are on the screen. However you want to get involved, feel free to get involved. Chuck Brewer, we're talking about the wrapping up the Steph Curry discussion. Chuck Brewer says, if Curry's the one shooting the three, it's a smart shot. There are way too many folks in the league that shouldn't be shooting it, though. And again, I think because of the rise in analytics of the game, even a guy who shoots three-pointers at a 33% clip or a 30% clip, it's still a better shot for them to shoot than the 19 or the 20-footer, just based on return of investment, because you get 3 instead of 2, as I like to say. 3 greater than 2, man.
Well, again, that's a great point, right? And professional leagues are copycat leagues. So once Steph does that and you see everybody else trying to develop their own guy like that, and sometimes, like you said, it just... he's a special player because of how he plays, and he's just not one-dimensional. And but a lot of it too is the team around him, right? The team around him that makes him go, and they work good together. That's why they've won championships, and that's why he's sitting there. And it's great, like to Joink's point about these inner city basketball courts and all this stuff, that the good that's come for it, happening, apropos to happen at Madison Square Garden. Right.
Yeah.
So those are sort of that's really cool in the big scheme of things. But you have to have the right player to play like that. So it's not surprising. I guess my question is, what's his cap? Does he hit 5,000? Does he play long enough for that? Is 4,500 one? But as we're watching it over in the video here, and he's giving Ray Allen a hug or whatever like this, you see how much it means to him. So that means something to me.
No, it does, and he, as Joik said, there's not a ton of wear and tear that goes on to Steph Curry. So who's to say? At this point, it's up to health.
Do you think he can be the Tom Brady of the NBA? Think he could be playing till his early 40s?
See, my question for that would be, as far as speed goes, and as you talked about too, running off picks and screens and all that kind of stuff, how quickly does that quote unquote go away? You know what I'm saying? Like that explosion, that fast twitch, that speed. How long does that last? Now, granted, as a shooter, And the dynamic would depend, too, on what the Warriors do as a franchise in the next 3 years, the next 5 years. What type of player do they get? Do they get the next LeBron or Giannis or, a penetrator that can aid in him being able to hang out and just catch and shoot?
Right.
Because we're seeing that more and more. Like, it's all a drive and shoot game. It's all a drive and shoot game because the shooters are so good. The floor has never been more spaced.
So my question to you is, next question, and this I don't want to shift it from Curry because he's such a great shooter, but would it be amazing to have two guys break the now old 3-point record? Say Klay Thomas plays, say, 4 or 5 more years, and he's averaging 250 to 300 threes a year. Do you think he's able to break? I mean, he will break the record as well.
Yeah, I don't just because of the injury. You know what I'm saying? And how is he going to come back? And just how is it going to work for him?
It's that question. I think Joint would be plausible if he was healthy. Right, because I think the injury that he suffered is going to maintain, and he's sort of got him off the pace. Right, what the question is when they were rolling like up to the point, and now I think you see because we forget, looking back. How long they've been in the league? Man, they've been in the league for a bit, man.
He can't do it as long as he's playing with Steph Curry.
Right.
Like there's only one basketball.
And the point too, there's not enough basketball for threes.
We say that, but then Klay Thompson comes out and breaks the NBA record for 3-pointers in a game.
Yeah, but that's one game.
Yeah, he's got 1,800 right now, but he hasn't played since 2019.
Yeah,
coming off an Achilles, coming off a knee.
Maybe he can come back healthy. Maybe he could do it, but it just seems to me at right now things are working against him. So I would say no. If they would have stayed healthy and he's been playing since then, yeah, it'd be interesting to watch.
I mean, the most he's ever made in a season is 276. Curry's going to have 276 by the end of February. Beginning of March, it's just but the math won't add up.
But even 276 for the next 4 years, right?
He'll still that'll put him at 3,000. Then that's
that's breaking the old record is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
It's possible.
That's what I'm saying.
He is 28. No, he's older than that. I don't see it. I don't see it happening with him. Just.
Is this the new norm, though? Is this the new norm?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is right. The way that the other
absolutely. There's no doubt.
Approach this game. This is the new norm.
No, it is. That's the way that the game is now, and it's not going backwards.
Is it
it's
the
only
same
going
thing
forwards.
in college too? Does it emulate downhill like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's different defensive rules in the NBA that make it kind of incomparable to college basketball, but. The genesis of the game, like the gist of the game, is the same. It's all positionless now. Like it's all 6'6" guys that can dribble, put on the floor, that can post, that can score, that can pass. You just get your 5 best athletes and figure it out. The center's dead in the NBA. Right. The center position's dead.
There's like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the high level, yeah.
Yeah, so that goes to show
you need him as a rim
blends
protector
right.
in college basketball. You do need a rim protector.
But again, it's like in the NHL, right? That's your enforcer, but he's also got to be able to play and skate with the game and have all the other tools. So technically, your rim protector isn't really your old school centerman. Right? He's a guy that's got more tools. He's probably more your power forward. That's 6'8", 6'10", right?
Right, and that's where it is. And those guys aren't scoring in college basketball. You're not dumping it into the post, and you're not doing that.
Stuff, right? Kicking out, kick around. What's the big, like you said with Coach Campion and I always say sabermetrics, but that's the analytics, right? Exactly like that. It's got to be ball movement and the speed. And I think the one thing that don't take away is the creativity, right? It's not dribble up the floor, shoot. Dribble up, pass to a spot, shoot. It's all these plays.
Yeah, everything's motion, dribble, drive,
motion,
base. Yeah.
And when you don't know, like if I know, for example, we all know we were talking about Rip Hamilton and shout out to Tammy that anybody find Rip Hamilton got his shoes ripped off from his locker down in Florida. So if you come across any Rip Hamilton shoes, he's giving away a reward and stuff. Let him know. But Rip used to do that. Around the pick, top of the key, get it, that 20-foot out shot, right on the corner of the foul line, and boom, knock that thing down, right, or the post and knock it down, right. So nowadays, right, it's those plays like that. But you always knew that if you defended that corner of the key spot, right, it'd be tough for him to get that shot off. Well, Steph Curry runs around. You don't know if he's going to shoot from half court or whatever else, how many times if he's going to take it and dribble or play everything else. What I'm saying is there's way more to creating that shot, right? That's what it is. It's all creating that 3-point shot instead of that 2-point shot.
Yeah, Mike G says no sky hooks anymore. Nope. there will be no more sky hooks. Jason S says Oakland had that kid that only shot threes a few years ago. Yeah, that was Max Hooper. Over 200 field goal attempts. All 3-point field goal attempts. We were a rec league team out there. We had Max Hooper that just shot only threes. We had Kay Felder, was a short guy that could dunk between his legs and all that stuff. We were fun, man. That was a fun team. You were out there for those teams.
There. You guys were out there. Would that be like he was strictly like? Would it be like he wouldn't shoot anything but threes?
No, about three quarters of the way through the season, Camp told him, he's like, do not shoot a 2. At this point,
well, because he was locked in.
Well, I mean, at this point, why wreck
mess it up?
They had him on SportsCenter and all that stuff. Yeah, Max Hooper, my guy.
Love it.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun. He was in player development for the Lakers the year they won the NBA title. So he's trying to give it a go as far as an NBA career. When we come back, I do want to talk about the Red Wings last night. That was a big
Red
win.
Wings, my Red Wings. Come on, Wings.
It was.
Let's fly.
It was a big win, and it was one that certainly was needed. So we will discuss that. But let me tell you about what we're doing here at Woodward. You see all these toys here. You see, you got the Game of Life up here as well. You see DMAC always, has a monstrosity going out there. All the toys in the studio here. It's a Woodward Sports second annual studio. And guys, before I get into it, I'm blown away. Every couple minutes there's somebody.
Awesome.
Yeah, every couple minutes there's somebody coming through, pulling up on us, as Joyke Bell would like to say, and dropping off toys. And Ellen came in with a bag full of toys, brought donuts and everything like that. Just very grateful for the generosity of all you guys. And remember, Guardian Alarm, Myre, they're the proud presenters of our second annual Stuff a Studio. We're collecting toys for Mott Children's Hospital, and there's clever reads here and stuff like that, but let's bottom line this. There are kids in Mott Children's Hospital that have been there all year long. Like, they haven't gone home. They're coming through the holidays right now. They're going to be there for Christmas. They're not going anywhere. Let's do what we can do, guys. Let's stuff this studio full of toys. Last year, Woodward Sports donated over $70,000 worth of toys, and the people at Mott said that was the largest donation they ever got. So, yes, challenge accepted. And everybody here, everybody here doing such a great job with it. I'm proud to be a part of it. We're taking donations here all week long at the Woodward Sports Studios. We're at 34915 on Woodward. We're right in the heart of Birmingham. You can come through anytime from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. We always have somebody here that will take those toys, and this studio's filling up quickly, man. Every single day we come in here, there's more and more. So make sure you can, if you want to come through and drop off a toy, more importantly, you want to get involved, you can't necessarily come here. Go to woodwardsports.com. There's a Venmo set up there. All of it is going to the kids at Mott Children's Hospital. As a parent, I have 3 kids. They're healthy. I want to make sure that this thing succeeds. As a parent, and my kids have not been to Mott Children's Hospital, I feel a sense of obligation to do whatever we can do to make this work, and I know a lot of people feel the same. So please, whatever you can do, let's make it rain with gifts over there for the kids at Mott Children's Hospital. We'll be right back with more Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins, I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Making our way towards the second hour of the show. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell, Fish, and Sawyer as well. Ben Diesel, Settlers of Catan is awesome. It is. You guys are lying at this point, man. Nobody's here playing Settlers of Catan.
Stop denying.
Come on, bro. No one here's playing Settlers of Catan. They're all lying, Sawyer. They are, but whatever. Red Wings did get the win yesterday. It was a big, big win for them. It was, DMAC, quite frankly, it was a win that I thought they, quote-unquote, had to have yesterday because the tailspin was on. The goaltending, being real, was terrible. The defense was terrible. They got cooked in Colorado. They got cooked, really, to the most extent of that road trip. It was a big game. It was, and look, I know it's a game in December, and games in December are not quote-unquote big games, but I think it was for this young team.
No, they are. It all depends on where you're at, and yeah, it was a huge game. Obviously, the inconsistency, and they've been doing it with the way they played on the road, but they've consistently played well at home, and they did it again last night. You talked about it yesterday. I thought Alex Nedeljkovic would come back with one of his better games of the year, and he did, made some huge saves. And what the bottom line is, this was a grinding, tough game that these guys, you got to play the Islanders, and it's sort of going to be that playoff hockey. It's going to be that physical game and stuff like that. But they were up to the task. They needed this one real bad, so it was good to see them be able to capitalize on the power play and to get that 2-goal lead. And it's always tough when your goalie plays super well that you can't get him to shutout. But good to see big Michael Rasmussen there, which we were talking back and forth. Because
I'm giving Zadina partial credit for that goal.
What did you text me? And
right
I can
away.
Pull it up right now. Right away you went, what did you say to me?
I said he won't be on the score sheet because of it, but I said when he was in on that rush with Rasmussen, the defender had to account for him. He had to, which created the space for Rasmussen to score the goal.
Absolutely, and it's great to see that's what the team way, and it's those little things. And I swarmily sent you back. Good to see you haven't lost faith in your boy.
Well,
but
I'm tested, DMAC. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, man. Like I'm being tested right now.
You get credit for that because being a part of it. I don't care. It's a bigger picture, so that's a big win. They're battling the consistency or the inconsistency of on the road, but they're taking care of it at home. So, again, it's sort of what I expect to see. I think the big thing is having Tyler Bertuzzi back in the lineup, which was huge. Gustav Lindstrom also. So, I always like it when they're moving around the power play. The one thing that we've seen, and I'm going to touch on this, today's Wednesday, so after
Puckin
the
around,
show,
right after the show.
I'm going to focus on Robbie Fabry, but I'm going to dial in that power play last night because what you're seeing, and I think they've made this adjustment, is they're trying to run the power play through Mo Seider at the point now, and he looks very comfortable at that. So, these are things, like you said, in December, but like must-win games or stuff like that.
It was a must-win game.
It is, especially when your team is where they're at, right? We're looking for the small development. So now they got to take this and go on the road and win and then come back on Saturday against New Jersey and keep doing it, keep building it. But, again, this is the highs to the season, but you got to take this and build on it. So, again, as guys get healthier, but it comes down to, at the end of the day, right, the goaltending, right? What did we say? It wasn't good enough on the road, and they don't have the luxury without great goaltending to win in this league. So they're making it interesting. I liked what I saw, and that's winning that 2-1 game, right? You have to be able to win that game, and every time you play the Islanders, they're going to play that abrasive, tough, in-your-face, boring style.
DMAC, call it what it is. It's boring.
Yeah, whatever.
But you know me, I'm a Oiler slappy, so that's what I like.
Yeah,
they're struggling.
They got pumped.
They are struggling. I think they've lost 4 in a row at home. They're struggling
Toronto
right
beat
now.
them 5-1 last night,
and they're getting thumped, and they're not scoring anymore.
No, and another big thing too is having you really see like different guys being able to step up in different situations. I know that guys in and out of the lineup, Mark Stahl being back Saturday are going to help. But it's like I always said, when this team has their best lineup in, the guys are healthy, nobody wants to play them.
Yeah. Joy, because I'm curious about this. A young team like that, and Tammy Chin said Dylan Larkin had a great goal, and he's been a point-a-game guy. That's what I asked. That's what I asked for him. If you want the sugar, you got to have the numbers. That's just the way that it is. But Joy, I'm curious about that because young team, and you kind of went through something similar with the Lions when you guys were kind of making your push, towards the playoffs. Where, at what point of the season do you fully believe it? You know what I'm saying? Like what the Red Wings are right now. They haven't been to the playoffs in a long time. And
I would say it's a long time.
well, I mean, in terms of,
Joyce said comparatively, some teams it's been a long time.
Right. Like in terms of the NHL where, where half the conference gets in the playoffs, so when do you start to fully believe it that this is, when will this Red Wing team believe it?
The more you win. I think the more you win.
So it's just a piece by piece thing.
Yeah, it's funny because remember we had Layella on, and I asked at what point in time does the team get their confidence aside from winning, and just kind of talk about the players, kind of their cohesiveness, how they've been together, how they've been able to kind of form that bond in the locker room, and how they fight for each other on the ice. Also, at the same time, when you win games, that's going to build confidence. After that very first game that they played against the Lightning, it was just like, wow. They had the lead, and they ended up losing 7-6 on the first game against a team that Steve Eisenman built, right? And they were right there, and so I think that game right there gave them a lot of motivation. I guess that's also kind of like with MSU, with Izzo. They want to play the tough teams first to kind of size themselves up, and that's what they did. And I mean, they were right there. And so I think once they get more consistent, because that what makes you great, being consistent. When you're young, you're still learning on how can I be consistent consistently, right? And so they're still learning themselves, working on their chemistry and all those different things. So I think all that plays a major part, even with us, with the Lions. As the more we won, the more we got more confidence. And as we move forward, we just continue to win, and we were able to, make some noise. I mean, we went to the playoffs, but we just couldn't close it out.
Right. Harley Fife on our YouTube chat thread says, if you're talking about Larkin being a point-per-game guy, what about Lucas Raymond and Mo Seider? And here's my thing with this, Harley, and DMAC, because we had this discussion before the season started. Dylan Larkin's on the precipice of free agency. And, he's a guy making $6 million next year. That ain't going down. You feel me?
It's not going
to get cheaper.
But is that why, or is that?
But that is
what
why.
Is
That's why the Larkin thing for me is bigger, because you have Seider and you have Lucas Raymond. You got them on rookie contracts. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later. And it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great.
I'm going to make it even simpler. That's your captain. That's where he's at, what year he's in, what you expect out of him to lead this team. Mo Seider and Lucas Raymond, they haven't set the bar yet for themselves, right? So just let them go and figure it out, right? And to your point, yeah, if you want to go to the money or whatever like that, sure, go to the money, but forget about the money and look because of how the hierarchy, right, of what the expectations are. And Dylan has to be, because of the ice time, being the C, just what he's developed and what expectations and things. When you say that, I expect that out of him, because that's the leader and the ability that he has, right? That's not saying he's playing over his head. Now, we're going to see how Lucas Raymond and Seider come into it, and then we'll have expectations. It's a lot easier because of the price tag, or when the price tag goes up. You're absolutely correct. But, one of the things, too, Neil, is we're going to touch on, but it's seeping into every sport. And, it's Thursday tomorrow. The Wings are supposed to play in Carolina, and it doesn't matter how well they're playing, but I know this is seeping into every sport, but people in the chat that are wondering if there's even going to be a game, because we see that with what's going on in the NFL and more things, and I know we want to touch on that,
because I have a radical thought process.
I don't know
on that.
And you know what? You brought this up to me earlier, because I don't think it's radical. I think it's just like one of these things that it's, hey, put up or shut up. what do they say? Poop or get off the pot, you know? How was I going to do that, right? But it's like now's the time, because why? We're coming into the part of a lot of the seasons, the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, that our game's going to be canceled on the regular, or what's going to go on. So leagues have to make a decision. Players associate all this stuff. There's decisions to be made, because I think, you know, this is and as far as whatever the COVID, the Omicron, whatever it is, 2 years in, it's rearing its ugly head again all throughout sports.
Right, and that's, you know, and then we're going to have that discussion when we come back. But earlier, you know, we were talking about, you know, on a weekend, cutting loose. What do you do? I'll tell you what I do.
Oh, you brought it from home.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at that half-gone sector.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm just saying we're working our way through it. Gypsy Vodka, everyone. It's Michigan's gluten-free vodka. Did it this weekend, as a matter of fact. Some ice in a cup, little hit of the Gypsy. One more hit of the Gypsy, threw some club soda in there, couple of lime pieces. You know, I'm kind of a diva. I like multiple limes in my Gypsy and soda, as it were. And why would it not be good, right? It took exploring 50 different formulas, countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy's the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. It's gluten-free. It's corn distilled 6 times. They use artesian spring water. That's right, Fish. Absolutely. You know that's what I'm going for in my top shelf. You can support local guys from right here in Michigan. Again, Gypsy Vodka, straight out of Petoskey, everyone. And obviously, this cool-looking bottle that we have as well. And more than that, the good-tasting vodka that is inside of that bottle right out of Petoskey, Michigan. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mock Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mock Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
Woodward Sports. This part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Joik Bell, DMAC, Darren McCarty, Sawyer in the production booth. Fish is in the bowl as well. Lions got you covered. Woodward Sports had you covered for the Lions pregame, the Lions postgame. It's on and popping downtown this weekend. Woodward Sports and Jose Cuervo will be out at the Tin Roof in downtown Detroit. You know where it is, right next to Comerica Park. 11 to 1, we'll be broadcasting there. Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, Maz, and Jade from WRIF and more will host a Lions pregame show on Woodward Sports again and 101.1 WRIF. I think I'll be pulling up on the pregame show down there in a different capacity.
Ooh. Pulling up on you after the Saturday night of finishing off your Gypsy Vodka.
I'm just saying, I'm going to the game.
Rare form. You pulling up in rare form?
Yeah, I'm going to the game, as a fan, just rolling in and want to check out Kyler Murray and stuff like that. So, I'll be taking in the scenery. Let's just say it like that. I think that's fair to say. Guess what that means? That means post-game, the Brass Rail, one of my favorite spots in downtown Detroit. Stick and Anson will be out there. They start broadcasting the 2-minute warning of every Lions game. They start streaming right at the 2-minute warning. They get the reactions, the fan interactions, all that. There's a DJ, drinks, a Woodward Sports VIP section, food, and more. Make sure you stop by after every Lions game at the Brass Rail in downtown Detroit. So we have that.
Are you going to the Lions game with your family?
I'm here with my family.
No, I will not. I'm going down with a couple of business associates of mine. Let's just say
can I do some housekeeping here?
Yeah.
I got something for Sawyer, open wheel, Jimmy Johnson just announces that he's running in the Indianapolis 500 and a full Indy Cup schedule for 2022.
So he's bailing on NASCAR then?
He was he stepped away last year, but he's been out of NASCAR and he's been dipping his toe in for a few races last year to the open wheel. So that's for you.
Is he doing ovals next year too?
I believe he's doing everything.
Nice.
Right?
He only did road courses last year.
So that the whole announcement was that he's doing a full schedule. For you two football soccer heads here, Sergio Aguero retires. Barcelona after moving from
he retired
Man City.
this morning.
So there you go. There's
Man, it ended quickly, huh?
DMAC International.
Yeah, his last game was 2-3 weeks ago. He had like health issues, like heart issues.
Oh, did he really?
Stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had missed that one. That's sad.
Because he only played like 6 games at Barcelona.
Yeah, because he was obviously high level at Man City. Yeah, He was. I always remember him like the Super Bowl props. Every Super Bowl Sunday, all the soccer ones were Aguero goals versus somebody's touchdowns.
Yeah. He probably should have retired. Probably should have retired instead of went to Barcelona, because he left City last year and he probably should have retired. But
no, I mean he still wanted to give it a go. Good for him. Great career out of Sergio Aguero. There is no doubt. Jake Wegener says, Jimmy Johnson, let's go. Predator Kingdom. I'm here with my family, Brian Kelly. Oh, that is a great bit. that was pretty good. What's not pretty good is a COVID situation. Certainly in the NFL, there has been 75 new cases in 2 days, and since we put this on the sheet, it's changed again. Baker Mayfield. I know there's a list of all the players that will be out due to COVID, and that is a list there. Very, very small print. Some big-time names on there. Certainly Jalen Ramsey, as we said. Baker Mayfield on that list also. It's a big-time list of players. And look, guys, I'm not trying to sound crass here. I'm not. I think we're to the point with this. Baker Mayfield is one, and both things can be true. I'm not downplaying COVID. Certainly not downplaying COVID at all. I'm not. I'm trying to figure out a way through this here. Like, what do we need to do? Because I think there's only 2 things you can do right now. Number one, you shut it down. And we're seeing it with the NHL, Giannis in the NBA. I mean, your headliners. Your headliners are going to be out now. Either A, we shut it down, or B, we stop testing vaccinated players. That's it. I mean, what else can you do here, DMAC?
No,
Either you shut it down or you stop testing vaccinated players.
So the only reason why they test vaccinated players is so that they don't give it to the unvaccinated players. No, that's the only reason.
No, I understand that. I do. And again, guys, I'm not being crass here. I'm trying to tackle the issue at hand. I'm not a COVID myther or anything like that. Certainly not. It's just if that's what we want. If you say, well, we can't stop testing vaccinated players, then okay, then we shut it down. Because this isn't football.
But then isn't that like the mandate that we saw the NFL say that all first and second level employees have to be vaccinated and stuff like this? So to your point, that if people have done the precautions and whatever, then it's sort of that allows you to play, and then you don't, that sort of gets you in the door, and then it's. I don't see why it's being crass or not being that way if it's controlled. But the bottom line for me is what I'm looking at the bigger picture. You look into, because it's in. You mentioned NBA and NFL. Well, 17 Calgary Flames. In the NHL and stuff like this. On the bigger picture, for the NHL, what does this look like? No Olympics. I mean that's like pretty much no brainer. And you know what? I don't know. Guys would be a little bit disappointed, but at the end of the day, with all the mandates and you see like the different rules that are implied, that just doesn't sell the case for China to hold the Olympics and me to want to go over there. So I just think that everybody's has had enough of it. To your point, that if you're vaccinated and everybody's in the same boat, right? Then why not move on? Is this part of the next step? I think at least that educated minds and stuff like this should have that conversation.
I think at this point now, what you said, if you've taken every precaution, your team is vaccinated, minimal symptoms, for the guys who are vaccinated. I think we're at a point now where we're learning about this virus more and more and more. And I think even though these cases are going up, you're not seeing people who are vaccinated have the same side effects or have the same symptoms as severe symptoms as people that aren't vaccinated. So I think this would be a pure judgment call. It's tough because I want to sit here and the spectators want to say, let them play. If they follow all your protocol, they got vaccinated like you wanted, let them play if they want to play. But then again, you have to look at it from the player's standpoint. Do players want to play against guys who have COVID? And so it's a slippery slope. You don't know which way to go. You just don't. And
what I do know, Joik, is Case Keenum shouldn't decide the Browns' fate if Baker Mayfield has tested positive for COVID, who's vaccinated, and says, I feel no symptoms whatsoever, everything's fine. And again, guys, I know we have to qualify this every single time I say it. I'm not minimalizing COVID. I'm not. It's just to the point where there's two outcomes here. We shut this down or we stop testing vaccinated people. Because what's do you agree with that statement? I mean, you talk about it being a slippery slope and all that.
Because we're still learning. So
then shut it down?
Shut it down. Worst case scenario, and that's what they're doing. They're shutting down players that are that has COVID.
But you got to shut the games. You got to shut the games down. Like I'm not.
So that Case Keenum in a backup and then 5, 7,
that's the tough
9.
part. And that's the tough part because this is the thing right here. If guys are vaccinated, right? If guys are not vaccinated and they catch COVID, then they get fined and they have to go through all this stuff with the team because you didn't want to do what we wanted you to do, and so now you have to, you got to pay the piper, right? But if you're vaccinated and catch it, then it's all good because you've done everything we asked you to do, and so now, if this is an NFL protocol or if this is their rule, what are they doing for the guys who are vaccinated who catch it, and now they can't play and now it's hurting their team? But they have no symptoms.
Right, that's my point.
So what are you doing?
That's where we're at, isn't it?
And so that's where we are. But then if we shut the game down, then we're losing a lot of money. We're losing a lot of money. And so
even
at the end of the day, I don't care what you're talking about. Yes, player safety is important to the NFL, but also so is that bottom line. Sorry.
But I just want a decision, and I don't care what the decision is.
But that's the thing. In order to make a decision, you have to
make a decision.
No. In order for you to make that decision, you have to compromise one of those two choices: either compromise the player's safety or compromise your bottom line. And if they can drag this out throughout to the end of the season, right? If they can drag it out, then that's just better for them because now they have a whole nother year to prep for this again next year. And so they're not going to shut the game down, right? And they're not going to put the players in harm's way. So what are they going to do? This is the fine line. Pull the players that test positive, regardless of.
But it's not. But it's not football. It's not. It's not NBA basketball if Giannis isn't playing. It's not NHL hockey if the Carolina Hurricanes have 13 available. That's not the game. So if we're not playing the game, why are we bothering? And if it's about money, then just say, hey, we can't take the economic hit. Because let's be real, too. And somebody brought this up. The YouTube chat comments are coming in, fast and furious, where you're at a point right now. We're doing it. We're never going to shut down the economy again until you have bodies start piling up in the street again, right? I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Right.
We're not turning that off. It's the same thing with the leagues, Joik, where they've made their decision, like they're not stopping. So my point is, if you're not going to stop, then just quit the charade and stop testing vaccinated people.
You can't do that because say a player go out there and he gets hurt. Right, he gets hurt or something like that, and now he can't play the following week. Are they going to shut the game down then?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
You don't. What I'm saying is, what I'm
You're
saying
not going to
is,
shut it down through injury, but if this,
no, what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, once you catch COVID, that's similar to an injury. That's how they're treating it. That's just how they're treating it.
I understand, but the injury that you're catching is no. To Neil's point, is
but you can still play.
You can still
play.
You can still play. Like with the COVID stuff, like Baker Mayfield. According to Baker Mayfield, you can play.
If you've done everything that you've been asked of you to do, right, and there's got to be maybe the next level, because having the symptoms and not being sick or whatever.
But that's what it is. Because you can still have it and still pass it.
At the end of the day,
you're right. But how do you handle that? How do you protect the other players then that aren't? Right.
Because they've been vaccinated, so you're going to give it back and forth in your team, and it's going to eventually fight. I don't know. I mean, that's
exactly, and so they're not going to make any decisions.
But to Neil's point, the league's already made the decision because they know what they're going to do. To your point, is that they're not wrecking the money tree because they'd rather see Case Keenums and backup players playing, because that doesn't affect the bottom line. Follow the money, as always, right? So that's why. And should they make a decision? Should they do that? I don't think you're out of line to ask that, Neil, to say, because maybe that's something that these players should be asking. The PA should be asking. Because you're running through hoops and then yet you're costing me not even playing. That'd be frustrating too.
Yeah, it's just that's really where I am, because the Case Keenum effect and that's going to essentially decide their season. This game this weekend for the Browns, their season will be decided. Probably. And Case Keenum's going to be the quarterback. So everything that went into all this year, all the protocols and everything that we did, the Cleveland Browns season is going to be dictated by how Case Keenum plays in a backup role, even though Baker Mayfield is fine. And again, guys, I'm not minimizing COVID. Certainly I'm not. Same as all of you out there have had people very close to me that had it, that obviously took a toll on them. Really a lot of people that were in some very bad shape from it. I'm not minimizing it. But they also weren't conducting an NFL football season, and everybody was just moving full steam ahead at the time either. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, the situations are different. No, please understand that the situations are different. I want to continue the discussion when we come back. But, the bottom line is, you're talking about backup players and stuff like that. When they stop playing, maybe they're looking for a career change, DMAC?
Or if you know what, Joyce knows everything about hot and cold, baby.
He does,
especially playing football in the heat, and been on the show and talking to DMAC about hockey. Started a new career in the industry that is always essential, right? Nothing's more essential than staying hot in the wintertime and cool in the summertime. Go over to northwesterntech.edu and learn more today. I'm Drake Bill, Neil Roy, DMAC, and this is what? Fish?
Big D.
Big D Energy. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
That's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell, Sawyer, and Fish in the bowl. And look, a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on it, and it's just, for me, I'm at a crossroads right now with it, because the Cleveland Browns season is going to be decided by Case Keenum at quarterback. Baker Mayfield tested positive for COVID. He said he's displaying absolutely no symptoms, feels fine, as he would be ready to go. And we're getting to the point now with the Chicago Bulls suspending games and the NHL team suspending games. Giannis is out for the Bucks. The Nets had, I think, 7 or 8 available players. Like, we're not playing the sport anymore. We're not. So if it's that big of a thing, then shut it down. And if it's not that big of a thing, stop testing vaccinated players. Those are the only two alternatives to me, because I'm not watching Case Keenum. You guys know how I roll, man. When they give me Davis Mills on the Thursday night football game, guess what I'm watching?
Well, that's
not the Texans play football.
That's a loaded question because you are biased against Thursday night games for the most part.
No, I'm not.
Because they throw you garbage.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They usually throw you garbage. But here's Neil, you're posing this question about this or that, but how about somebody explain why why we can't do that, or why we shouldn't do that, or why whatever else? Because as I'm reading in the chats, and we all know, looking at the news, and either in whichever league where we showed you the NFL guys, we showed you the NHL. I just saw Johnny Gaudreau and Daryl Sutter put it up to 17 for the Calgary Flames as far as their players. So we've been around this enough. Whatever the variant, but to your question is, why don't we cancel it? Why don't we do this? The NFL comes out and says, we're going to do this. This is a direction we're going to go. That's what we're looking for, because we don't know, right? 2 years in, it's sort of still sitting in this abyss. And what you're saying is that if it's so important for these leagues, have this conversation of put a pause in or don't test. And why not? So can somebody answer my buddy Neil Rule to say why? Right? Because that's what it is. I think this questions isn't being crass, going, why can't we do that? And somebody tells you a reason why. Okay, I haven't thought of that, but there isn't a reason why somebody hasn't come out and said that, because I'm sure you're not the only one thinking it.
Well, and for me, like I don't have an objection to either way you want to go. I don't. If you want to shut it down, that's fine. If you want to stop testing vaccinated players, that's fine with me too. You roll on, but do something, because
you see the rat race. You see we've gone through this already. We've done this at different points at the beginning when we shut down, and then what did it do? And then masks, right? Because it's just I guess as a whole, it's not knowing. Right? It's not knowing which way are we going, what's this, what's that. And I think 2 years in, that's just what we want. And we look to sports a lot of ways, because that's the common denominator for a lot of us, is to sort of lead the way, right? And we're waiting to hear that. And because of the money and the biggest money maker, it goes to show. So they have to make a decision or not decision and let you know which way they're going to go.
Ali says, guys, stop. We're not talking politics here. I'm not talking about politics. I'm strictly talking about the sports, because this isn't Case Keenum. Case Keenum is not. Yeah, Case Keenum is not an NFL quarterback. If he were, he'd be an NFL quarterback at some point. We tried that. Teams tried that experiment before. It didn't work. And Case Keenum's going to decide the Browns' future, not because Baker Mayfield's injured and is not physically capable of playing. He's physically capable of playing. He tested positive for COVID, so he's out, even though he says he feels fine. And so for me, either it's a problem to the point where we're concerned about player safety, people's safety, then all right, we should shut the games down. But we're not that concerned. Like, let's be real. Yeah, we're concerned, and we'll say that we're concerned about, player safety and all that kind of stuff. But we're not going to stop the games, because then you got to give back advertising money or make goods for advertising. So just say that's what it is, and say, hey, we're going all the way.
Listen. Where they are right now, right? Where they are right now, they're going to tell you this: we have already chose what we were going to do.
Fair,
because because what we're doing right now is not only protecting our bottom line, but it's also protecting the players. Right? They don't care who wins; they only care about how much money are we bringing in? Are the players safe?
No question.
Are the players safe?
So Joik, just say it. You're doing it anyway, so just say it.
They don't have. Listen, you ever heard the saying, "Your actions speak louder than your words"?
No doubt. Yes.
They don't have to say it, because that's what they're doing. Right? If somebody tell you, "I'm going to slap you," and walk up to you, but don't do anything, they all bark. But they walk up to you, you guys exchange a couple words. You kind of see it coming. They walk up to you. There ain't no talking. They just smack you. Now, which one you gonna be more afraid of? Which one are you gonna react to? Right? They're basically telling you without telling you. We don't have to go through this. Like they walked up to you. They smacked you in your face. You see all the action there. They're gonna pull the players out. They don't care who it affects as far as who wins the game. But but just know there's gonna be a game. And if that player goes out there and he does well, that backup, then hey, Good job.
You stood.
What have you done for me lately?
Right.
You
What have
rose
done?
up.
What do you
rose
say?
up.
What's the best ability in the NFL?
Availability.
That's any sport.
Yeah.
That's any sport. Who was that? Bill Russell?
I believe
the
so.
best thing you can ever do for your team is be available.
Be available, yeah. George says, Neil, let's be honest, the NFL is far worse than both the NHL and the NBA when it comes to COVID protocols. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it as far as to be able to make a decision on that. All I know is what we're seeing right now is not sports. And if they can't play, then obviously it's a safety issue. And if it's a safety issue, then we shouldn't be playing. But if they're okay, then let's just stop testing the vaccinated players. And I just want a decision. Again, I don't care which way we go. Because for me, it's a bit of a travesty in that, Joik, Ovechkin, Steph Curry, Giannis, all the stars of the NFL, we're using a year of that. You don't get to watch them your whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
they're not going to be there forever. And for me, like, I like entertainment. I like watching the guys at the highest level play. I like watching Ovechkin score goals. I do. It's entertaining. I like watching Giannis go to the basket. It's entertaining because no one else in the world can do what they do. We're wasting a year of that by going through this. You want to attack, like some people say, put an asterisk on it and move on. No. Either you can play or you can't. Period. I can't get past this, man.
Right. No, because it's either because it's coming down to crunch time, right? Because we've seen it. And I think here's the thing, Neil, is that you've been waiting, because here's the bigger picture, right? We're talking about the professional teams, but what is happening starting downtown here or in the Bahamas or whatever? It's bowl season. Right? We haven't even touched on the college and with all the fans and everything like that. What's this going to do? So you would have liked to see the NFL being the biggest power, the head of the money. If they're not going to do anything, it's to Joink's point. They'll just walk down the street, spit in your face, slap at you, go, you don't matter. That's as far as the games go, right? At the end of the day, when it affects their bottom line, because... right? What if it's the Patrick Mahomes and the Tom Brady's and the Aaron Rodgers and you know what I mean? We're talking Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield, but it's the Browns. You see it in the chat thread. Really? There's Browns fans? But like in all talking, we're not talking about the highest guy, but we will be, Neil, if they continue this way to whatever. So I'd be interested if you looked at that sheet and said, oh, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, all these, and then would the NFL look at it differently? Abso-friggin-lutely. Because there's where the big money, where it affects, because why? You're not bringing people into the stadium. It's affecting the bottom line. So, regardless, guys, you know what? Regardless, I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you. I like stuff simple. Football, that's simple. What? 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week. I like things uncomplicated. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. As you can see, got her all tightened up. You too can walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, just like me, handsome and clean. Get the Lady Jane's open 10 to 8. 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Joint Bell, DMAC, right back here in a few seconds. Woodward Sports Network.
Big D.
Okay, thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell, Fish, and Sawyer is the squad here today. Happy to have you all along with us. Two-track Jack says, so Neil's argument is one of personal want of the product on the field, not one of player safety. Nice. No. That is factually incorrect and patently false. What did I say, DMAC? I said if you are going to say it's a player safety thing, then go all the way with it and shut it down.
Right.
And what I say, I'm cool with that.
Yep.
If the player safety thing's an issue.
What Neil Rule is saying, this is what I see. Can I get a decision, or can you tell me why you're not going to shut it down, or why you're not going to go this way, because this is what it looks like your options are at this point, correct?
Right, sure, absolutely. And I would even lean towards, if it were me, I would say, hey, we're going to take a 3-week break here and reassess and see where we're at. That is how I would do it. If the COVID thing's a big deal to people, that's what they would do. But we've proven time and time again that it's not, Jack. So then let's stop testing the vaccinated players then and move on. Because, make it to the point where they'll go get tested if they feel symptoms. Because, I heard this talked about yesterday. I don't take a test to get on a plane. I didn't take a test to come here to go to work. When do I take a test, DMAC? When do you go get a COVID test?
To go to Canada.
To go to Canada to go to go to the Grey Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fish it. When are you going to get a test, DMAC?
When I've had tests when I've been around when people get it or whatever in close proximity.
Right.
I think I've done 5 tests or whatever.
Yeah, close contact. I'm saying though, like Darren McCarty sitting on his couch at home. When are you don't have anywhere to go. You don't got to be at LCA. What's the only time you're going to get a test? If you don't feel good, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it goes back to. Again, to the flu or to whatever else. When you don't feel good, it's the same thing. Is that's when you're going to look at it. And I think to your point, that's the problem. Everybody feels good. It's sort of like this asymptomatic or whatever like that. All these guys are testing to. So that's why it. That's why it brings it to the guys are feeling good, like they could play, and if there's no long-term detriment, right, where the league can find this out, you're looking for a decision.
Nick sums it up very well, and I do want to talk about recruiting. Certainly, we'll get into the Lions and the Cardinals a little bit. Nick says it's America. We want our cake and we want to eat it too. Or in Sawyer's case, it's America. We want to eat one donut, and then we want to go back and eat another donut. And that's really what it all shakes down. National Signing Day today. I know everybody's hype, and to be honest with you guys, I've never really understood the allure of National Signing Day, certainly not to the degree that everybody else has. But with that being said, Deion Sanders made a big splash as he landed a 5-star cornerback. The number 2 overall player in America is going to Jackson State to play with Deion Sanders. He initially committed to Florida State, but now he's going with primetime to Jackson State. So for me, I don't understand why Florida State, Joik, isn't on the phone with Deion Sanders right now, like how he's not the football coach of Florida State 10 minutes ago.
Do you think, because at this point, I don't even think it's about money. Right, I think he wants
to do it his way, into the wind.
Right, he wants to do it his way. He wants to do it at an HBCU. He wants to bring more notoriety, and he believes that by him going there to Jackson State, which he said that it'll bring more light to those type of players, those type of organizations or institutions, bringing more players in. And what he did right there was unprecedented. Since 2006, there has not been not one
I know
5-star recruit ever signed to the FCS since ESPN started in 2006. What was that? Highlighting players, ranking players.
But it goes to the person. And
Absolutely.
It goes to Deion Sanders. It goes to your fandom of him, but also to primetime. Sawyer, did you get that?
Making it right now.
Mickey Lum Phelps says Coach Prime, and Coach Prime's getting it in.
Because here's the thing, and I think it's so important to do it his way. Where the message is, and obviously if he is winning Coach of the Year, if he's being precedented, if he's getting these kids to play, if he's bringing in recruits,
he is.
Then the message is huge, right? I got Sawyer working on, backdoored him with this, but this explains to me. I ran across this tweet last weekend out of Coach Prime. When Sawyer's got it, I'm going to put up and read it for you. But it goes to the mentality. And sometimes you don't want the big school because they're set in their ways and it's not about the dollar.
I always say this. when I went through the recruiting phase coming out, and I remember I went to a school who played Wayne State. They had beat them 70-3 the year before. Wayne State got throttled. Wayne State hadn't had a winning season in 30 years. And I told schools that I was looking at going to Wayne State. And they were like, why would you go there? Why? And, we beat them 70-3. So I went back, told my head coach. My head coach looked me right in my eyes and tell him, hey, if they tell you that again, tell them that you weren't there yet. Right? Tell them that you weren't there yet. And I said, that's pretty dope. All right. And so, funny, so I ended up signing with Wayne State, ended up going to Wayne State because I always had the mindset of I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond than a big fish in a big pond. All right. So I could have went to Michigan as a safety. I could have went to MSU, Toledo, but at my heart, they wanted me to play safety, but I knew in my heart I was a running back. So I took my chances with Wayne State, and the best choice I ever made. It might be the same opportunity with this young man right here because before he signed with them, their biggest recruit that they had signed was actually Deion's son, quarterback. And so with him signing with them, he took the top spot as being the highest ranked recruit there. And so that was pretty dope to me.
He's building something there, sort of like what Stevie is doing here with his culture and whatever else. And Sawyer, this is why you double dipped in the donuts today, bud. I gotta give you high props. So I'm gonna read this to you, but if you can see it on the screen, but this was Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, if you want to follow him on Twitter. Back in the day, we had rules. You had to finish whatever you started. We couldn't leave the dining table unless we finished. We couldn't go outside and play unless we finished our schoolwork, and we weren't allowed to quit anything. We had to finish. What happened to us? Mic drop right there. That's why he's prime time and the GOAT and to everything else. And that's the mentality. And obviously, right, you're going to bring, and doesn't it make sense? You said the number 1 or number 2 cornerback, right?
Yeah, the number 1 cornerback
okay.
in the nation. So, number 2 overall recruit in the nation.
Neil. You and I we're never going to be cornerbacks.
Right.
But if you were the number 1 cornerback in the nation and you were recruited by said Deion Sanders, arguably one of the best
it would have an
quarterbacks
impact
in history.
It would have an impact
right?
on me.
Because you're going to go there and develop not only that young man, but learn from the best. So whoever this guy is, I'd watch for him. And I think that this might be something to watch because he's proven that. So like I mentioned before, copycat leagues, copycat this.
Yeah.
Who's the other one he's going to get?
I'm telling you right now.
Because this is just the beginning. If you crack it open at the top, usually you crack it with the top 100.
You see how everything is aligning right now for him? You know, yes. he comes here.
Manifest
they
reality.
They greet him with that wonderful introduction of the new head coach of Jackson State. They go out. They have a decent season, right? They come out. Yesterday, he wins the Eddie Robinson Award, which is to the top coach of the FCS. And the NCAA just announced that yesterday. And then today, he flips the number 1 recruit in all of high school football right now from Florida State over to Jackson State. Everything is aligning, man. Like everything he wanted to bring to this conference and to this university, he's doing it. Now, the only thing he needs to do now is go win the championship. That's all he needs to do now.
Yeah, I mean, he was 11-1 in his first year, so certainly he's got to pop him. But, yeah, some big things coming out of signing day. And
Young Dolph, shout out to Young Dolph, went out there, performed, was in the locker room with the boys. The late Young Dolph, shout out to Young Dolph, man. But, yeah, I like it because he relate to these young men. They respect them. They love them. They're willing to run through a brick wall for him. I can guarantee you that. It's prime time.
Prime time. That's my guy, man. I told you guys I'm wearing the prime time throwback shirt on Friday for Vintage Shirt Day.
You know what's funny thing about that? So, prime time, he signs on all footballs, but he will not ever sign prime time on a baseball.
Sport didn't call for that.
Didn't call for that.
Sport called for Deion.
I was Deion.
Yeah, I love prime time, man. One of my favorite dudes coming up in the 90s. But National Signing Day, there's been a lot of discussion about, with it being it's the early signing day. I've never been a big recruiting guy because I've never cared about it until they're on campus. I think that this early signing day thing is an unintended consequence of it is that you're seeing all these coaching changes right now. And, we have the tweet on the screen. This week's early signing period could be the last of its kind. Officials are serious about overhauling the recruiting calendar. Proposal was presented last week to the commissioners to move the signing date into January because the model is broken. That's Ross Dellinger that tweeted that out. And I agree 1,000% because that's why these guys are bolting before the bowl games, because they're taking a new job. They're leaving the team that's in the bowl game. Mm-hmm. You don't care about that team anymore. You're leaving. You're gone. You got to be there for recruiting.
Why did they change it from? It used to be in February.
Right. Well, that's like the second signing date or whatever. Today's the early signing period.
Okay.
Now, I never understood why it changed. I mean, I know why it changed. It changed for ESPN. It changed for the media hype and all that kind of stuff.
How long has it been that way?
I don't know the exact time frame of when they changed it, but it's just, for me, the recruiting thing is way too overblown anyway. Like, people just, they soak this stuff up, and rivals get you to buy a subscription and everything, and they doctor the rankings of the recruits to the fan bases that have more subscriptions. Like, it's all fake anyway. The whole thing's fake anyway. But yeah, this whole National Signing Day, the way it's set up right now, is dumb. You got all these coaches bolting for the new jobs, and it's just something where DMAC, they do have to change this, man, because this is out of control.
No, it really is, and it puts the what are you going to do if you're a coach? Because you got to go with the rules, and you're going to move on. What have you done for me lately? You got to move on to the next team, and I think it's unfair. Obviously, going into the final week before the playoffs were set, that was a big conversation. What if Notre Dame got in and Brian Kelly had already left? I mean, that's just sort of it's sort of the two donut thing. It's right there. Go have another donut, right?
Diminishing returns.
To the sugar, the returns, right? What have you done for me lately? Go follow this. Go. So you have to set up the model to not put these guys in a bad position, because you want to hate on the coach for leaving or whatever else. But what's he supposed to do, right?
Yeah. In the crazy part is, say the kid signs with the school before the bowl game. Right, it signs with the school. The coaches leave. I think they're able to bag out of going to that school, but the school that they wanted to go to now gave their scholarship away to another person. And so now, right, it is broken.
Yeah, because it's like an airplane. The plane's being oversold. These college coaches are overselling the airplane. And you show up and you try to check in for your flight, and they're like, hey, you've been reassigned.
No, it's not reassigned. Can we have a volunteer that's willing to come up and catch a later flight?
Yeah, we'll give you a voucher that's good for a scholarship to Clemson.
Right, we give you a voucher to go with another airline. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
No, it is, and it is. It's a big PR thing. It's a big media thing, and they will change this. They have to change this. When we come back, do want to talk about Lions Cardinals. We do have to discuss that. Lions season coming down the stretch. But I do want to tell you about our Stuff a Studio, our second annual Stuff a Studio here at Woodward Sports. You see all the toys and everything. A big thank you to Guardian Alarm and Myre for bringing this. Our second annual Stuff a Studio. We're collecting toys from Mott Children's Hospital. You can bring a toy down to the Woodward Sports Studios, 34915 Woodward Avenue in the heart of Birmingham. We're taking toys from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you guys are awesome enough to take time out of your day to come down, the least thing that we could do is be available to take those toys, to put them in the studio. We're trying to help all the children who have been in the hospital all year long. We want to give them the holiday that they deserve. As a parent, certainly it hits different, and whatever you guys can do to help out. Last year, we donated over $70,000 worth of toys to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor. It was their largest donation in history. We're looking to smash that this year. So help us out. Help us do that. It gives you a little bit of that good holiday feeling as well, because in the end, we can talk about the iPhones and the gift cards and all that stuff, but what are you doing for somebody else? That's really the judge of the holiday season. Again, all week long, this week, we're going till Friday. Drop off right here at our Woodward Sports Studio, 34915. If you can't make it down with the toy, go to woodwardsports.com. We have a Venmo on there. Pitch in whatever you can pitch in, because certainly every single cent of it is going to these kids at Mott Children's Hospital. So, do what you can do. We're going to do everything that we can do as well. Give these kids a holiday they deserve. It's Stuff a Studio, brought to you by Guardian Alarm and Myre.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
No off season for us. We're talking sports. 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell, Fish, and Sawyer here as well. I mentioned the fact we're going to talk a little bit about Lions and Cardinals. And I mentioned earlier that I'm rolling down to the game, and I'm rolling down to the game to see Kyler Murray to play in person. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Travis Lightman, why? Why do we want to talk more about the garbage at Ford Field other than a draft tracker? Let's move on. Well, it always comes back to the draft tracker. D-Mac's going to hit you with that in just a couple of minutes. Juice's Ghost, there it is.
Neil, hey, did you get that in there, Sawyer?
What's that?
Since we're talking about the signing day, do you remember this right here?
What is it?
When a guy, I guess his mother thought he was going to Tennessee, and he kind of
he flip-flopped
his mom, and his mom got mad at him.
Mad and walked off.
Whatever happened to him? What was that dude's name?
I forgot his Jacob Copeland.
Jacob Copeland.
Yeah,
let's see what happened.
I think did he just enter the player portal?
I feel like that happens every
Wow.
season. Doesn't that happen every season? You get some guy that changes his mind, his parents get all pissed off.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny to see that. Actually.
I mean, but it showed him because that really broke him down. It hurt his heart, man. He was crying because he wanted to have that be a special moment. And his mother came back and said she always gonna support him, gave him a hug, and they worked it out. But no, seriously, it was a big deal. Man.
Jacob Copeland, 39 catches for 600 yards and 4 touchdowns this year at Florida.
Huh.
Okay.
I think did he enter the player portal?
Who knows? Oh, yeah, it does. It says that he's planning to transfer.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
That's weird. I guess mothers always knows that. I gave you the story. Did I ever give you the story of how I sat with Wayne State? I told you the story, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, mother knows best. Mother knows best.
No, that certainly is the case. Mike G says, Sawyer, I like to play Settlers of Krispy Kreme, so maybe you want to look into that one. You can have all the donuts and.
I absolutely love Krispy Kremes. There's not really one nearby, but I was about to say that. Krispy Kreme.
Who doesn't like Krispy Kreme? I met a couple of people who say they don't like Krispy Kreme. I don't.
Then you've never had a donut before.
You never had a donut before. You know what, Fish? You saying you like Krispy Kreme donut? You're okay with me.
Okay, cool.
You're okay with me. And then especially where the Krispy Kreme light is on. When the light is on.
You're pulling up on them. Huh?
I'm pulling up on them.
You have to watch them go down the conveyor belt.
Have you ever been on a diet and then you buy Krispy Kreme donuts and you give them to other people and just to watch them enjoy it?
No, I've never gone that far, Joey.
No, I used to always do it. I go buy for the kids.
The Krispy Kreme.
Buy for my kids, and I buy it, I give it to them, and I watch them enjoy it. It looks delicious.
You get that. Oh, that smells great. I can taste the smell.
It sits there for a few hours. It cools off, and you throw it in the microwave for 8.5 seconds.
Ooh, 8.5.
8.5.
Ooh.
So you put it in for 9, and you stop it right before it beep. 8.5 seconds. You take it out. It's perfect.
Neil, I know you're on a sugar diet or whatever, but
no, it's not. It's just the way I live, Fish. It's not a diet.
Okay, but do you do Krispy Kreme donuts? Have you had one before?
I've had one before.
And?
Can you eat one with that? That wouldn't take you over 30 grams.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Yeah, it would easily.
It would easily soar.
One bite would probably take it over 30.
I could probably sneak in a half of one if that's all the sugar I was going to do that day.
Yeah.
I could probably eat a half of one, I bet. I'd have to look it up.
Hey,
I looked up Jacob Copeland stats. I may as well look up and see sugar content in the Krispy Kreme donuts.
That's gonna be about 600 calories.
Erica Kiko says they have an app that tells you when the light is on.
Oh,
what?
You get an alert on your phone?
Man, I'm telling you, man, Erica Kiko be coming through with the little gems.
Nice job there, Sawyer. Here's
here's the college switch.
Here's the college switch. Oh,
sorry, I'm not going to Alabama. I'm going to Florida.
It's called what? Let them have security commercials. How many watts you working with, Joy? 1,000, 1,500? No idea. Sorry, Detroit Dabber. I don't know. I don't know where we're going. What are you talking about? What are we talking about?
So it's interesting where you're watching Copeland on screen there. He went to Florida. Now he's going to transfer. Does he go to Alabama or to Tennessee?
Well, Alabama. What's Alabama going to do with a guy that had 39 catches for Florida?
Use him.
They're not using that.
They're not using him.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many targets?
I was just wondering because
you're looking at the catches, but are you looking at the targets?
What do you mean?
Like, if he only had 39 catches, but he only had
He's always been like a 30, 35 to 40 catch guy every year he's been there.
How many targets has he had?
He's not playing at Alabama. They don't need him.
They don't need him.
No. You saw Jamison Williamson.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boy nice.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a transfer, though, from Ohio State. But they had 3 first-round receivers that were in front of him, so I understood why he transferred. Yeah. And it looked like it's going to work out because he's going to be a top 10 pick. I was curious, though. I mentioned the fact I'm going to go to the Lions game, just as a fan, and Kyler Murray's like the big reason I'm going is just to watch him play in person.
What if he doesn't play? How angry would you be?
I mean, I wouldn't be angry. Like, I'm going with some friends. I would be able to delineate.
His draft capital would be angry.
I'm going to let you know right now.
Absolutely.
For the Lions, when was the last time we beat the Arizona Cardinals? Because we hadn't beaten them since I've been there. I even went to the game.
I know we tied them.
We tied them. I was at that game.
That was a terrible tie.
I was at that game in Arizona when we had that game won.
Yeah.
Awful
come
tie.
Back and they tied it. It was awful. It was awful.
It cost us a pick.
It was awful. I don't know how we let them come back and win. But you know what? I guess that is football. That's what happens. But we've always had bad luck against the Cardinals. I don't know what it is. They're like our kryptonite right now. And right now, they're definitely a better team. So we don't even have a shot. What's the spread with this game?
Opened at 14, down to 13.5. So the business community is leaning towards the Lions a little bit. I would too. At 14, I would take it.
No, I'm not taking it.
I would have. At 14, I would.
And I'm not even being fun. I'm not taking it with Jared Goff at quarterback.
But here's the thing: that you got the area for you, Neil Rule, draft capital, want the first pick, all this, having hopefully an angry Arizona, Kyler Murray after losing. Monday night to Matt Stafford and the Rams, they got something to prove. So
I worry
you
and me. So again, I'm not one that's just gonna overlook this and say, "Oh, they're gonna lose and move on." I have anxiety about it because the job's not finished.
My question to you: you want to put eggs on it?
Taking the Lions with 14?
Yep. You want to put eggs on it?
I'll put some eggs on that.
Yeah, with cheese.
Sure. Yeah,
add some pepper and salt in there for me as well.
Yeah, let's turn it up.
To go. Got to remember the to-go
To-go box. And
yep, to go.
10:45 right here.
10:45 is when you're going to pull up on
10:40.
us?
No, 10:40. Make it 10:40.
10:40? All right. Yeah, we'll do that. You're not in Monday, so we'll have to do that for Tuesday, right? Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I'll take the Lions with 14. I'm concerned. That's all I'm saying. But I'm always concerned because I'm a worrier, DMAC.
You are. You're worried. You
think they come in and play that bad again?
They might make it too close, right?
Well, I think it's a combination of things, right? Like, it's an up-down league. Lions will probably play a little better. DeAndre Swift's supposed to be back. Like, there's some factors that are coming together. They are running the football, and it's the Cardinals in December. It is, and that's the knock on Kyler Murray right now, and it's going to be the knock until they fix it.
Yeah.
And you can't fix it this weekend, obviously. If you beat the Lions, you're supposed to beat the Lions.
I just think they got something after the way that they lost. And Kyler Murray, obviously, we'll see if they're the real deal because they have to take care of business. So I don't think you're in trouble. I think your first overall is safe, and I like your bet. I think they lose by 10.
Yeah.
So you picked the Lions to cover the spread then?
Yeah. I'm getting 14.
14. Yep.
Yeah. So that's where I am with it. And for me, look, I'm always a guy. Anything I can do to ensure that number one pick, I'm going to do. I'll take one for the team. And if it costs me $6 or $7 to make sure they lose, then I'll do that.
You know what I do? How are we going to do this moving forward? And we can parking lot this for another discussion in the future. But say somebody goes out this year and they put up 2,200 yard rushing or 2,300 yard rushing. Do they have the rushing title? I mean, for the most.
Well, yeah, if they have the most rushing yards,
but
they would have
that's
the rushing
17
title.
games. That's an extra game.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's a season.
It's a season. That's the side effects of that. What do you got, Sawyer? Donut update? Going in for number 3?
I mean, maybe after the show, but
told you.
Can we live stream that?
Maybe a little in between for Puckin around, you know.
Needs a Timbit.
I was doing some digging today, and there's a little Lions history that happened 86 years ago. Since we're talking about the Lions, World Champions, baby, 1935, beating the New York Giants 26-7.
Oh boy, Maz's team.
Maz was like
Maz
7.
He ran the ball
Maz
every
was
play
7.
except for
Maz was playing in that game.
Maz was driving in.
Look at that squad, too.
Oh yeah,
Maz was the right tackle.
Look at that squad. Athletes are built a little differently these days.
4 pass plays from the Lions in that game.
Well,
Only
hey,
4.
why go
Mac
against
Jones
it? If
just
it's
won a game with only 3.
I will say this about the Lions: when they do get an NFL championship game, they pound the other team, like what they did to Jim Brown and the Browns in 1957.
24 players.
We just
that's 24
gotta get
players
there.
right there.
Hey, once the Lions, I tell you guys this: if they ever get to a Super Bowl, take them to cover the number because they always do.
You know what that looks like? That, my friends, is the original Guardian Alarm lineup, you know, because Guardian Alarm, they get it just like the 1935 champion Detroit Lions. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has all the state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring right from your phone. Unlock, lock your doors, check the controls, the temperatures. In case your house is on fire, your smoke detector, break to hear, and even that deadly killer carbon monoxide. So if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network family, you too can get on the Guardian Alarm train. But I need you to call Fish Ready 1-800
Stay out.
That's 1-800
Stay out.
For everybody in the back and everybody out on Woodward in downtown Birmingham, give it to them 1-800
Stay out. Get out of my house. Donate some toys. Have fun.
Yeah, donate some toys, have fun, have Guardian Alarm, have your back like they have trusted for over 90 years at keeping families and businesses safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts here protecting Big D Energy and all the toys for Mott's Children Hospital. Joint Bell, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Final segment of the show here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, DMAC, Joik Bell here in the house, Fish and Sawyer as well. You guys are having a good time with that picture of the 1935 NFL champion Detroit Lions. And people want to know why the 9 is so big. It's a great question. Juice's Ghost wants to know why is that 9 so big. Rack says if Sawyer's gonna have to let go of that top button if he goes in for a third donut. Is that fair?
Yeah,
I think the key numbers we should be looking at is at 35. 35, keep it alive. Whenever you put 35 in, it's always good.
Where's the 35 at?
1935.
Oh, 1935. Okay, I thought there was a 35. I thought that they had retired that number in anticipation of Joik Bell being
Matt said he's got the whole autograph team
before we been
picture
there.
except for 3 guys.
They were saving it for you.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I think that's where it was. Travis Lampman, 4 passes was Dan Campbell, the offensive coordinator. You guys crack me up, man. You absolutely do. I like how the Juices goes. I like how the highest jersey number is 25.
So do I. That's a great number too. Look at that. Look at my guy in the back there. He's a hawk. Yes.
Good times.
So again, 86 years ago
Good
today.
looking bunch of dead dudes.
86 years ago today, Lions NFL champion.
Savage.
So that's what it was. Take a bow, everybody. Did they have a banner up for that, right? I know they have one for the 50. I'm sure they do. The NFL championships. They should. I know they do for the 57 team.
Yeah, they had a couple up there. And we about to put a couple more up there and about another. Did you do your ticker today? Did we do the ticker? In about 2 more years?
The ticker was on Fish earlier. The ticker was there. It is.
There we go. There it is.
It's on DMAC. Now it's on Joy.
That's the ticker right here.
Yeah.
13 to 34.
You can touch the ticker, Joy. Go ahead.
So
you can play
I think
DMAC
after
ticker.
we get 34 will be in the race. We'll become a usual suspect around then, and I think around.
And you said it with such a straight face too.
I think around 51 we'll be competing for that championship.
51. Nice.
We'll be competing.
The year 2051?
Yeah.
No. 51 games the next season. So,
well, I mean, it's just going to take a couple more drafts. If you get 2 more drafts like you had this draft, you'll be there,
2
man.
more drafts like this, free up some money, then we go out there and get some more talent to come in. And hopefully we still have the coaching staff we have here. And if not, hopefully they're a head coach at another team so we can get some extra draft picks in the third round.
I got to take this time a little bit here for all my wrestling fans tonight. Winter's coming. AEW, TNT, the champ, Hangman Adam Page versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. It's going to be, as Jim Ross says, a slobber knocker. This is going to be must-see TV tonight. This is it. So all you wrestling fans, and I know that a few of people were asking if I was going to be watching. I will be tuned in. Can't wait. This is going to be good. Going to be real good.
Nick on our YouTube chat thread says, man, the old days were messed up. You know, they all went to work on the line on their off days. So, yeah, that was back in the day, Joik. Those cats had to have a job and played football.
They did. My godfather was one of those guys who had to work a job in the off season and then come back. And I could be wrong, but I think they were coming back for OTAs that started in March.
Ted Lindsay, Gordy, all those guys. That's how they got into the communication. Look at the film on the. There it is.
Had to go back to the film room.
I didn't even know they had film on that
game footage.
Cassette.
That's where even
that's for Mads. Look, there's Mads right there.
That's Mads.
Mads in the third row.
Selling insurance and stuff like that.
Look at this footage. Oh, there's one of the passes. A little swing back. That ball's fired down the.
Look
at that!
Him in a flea flicker.
You see that offensive creation right there by the O coordinator?
That's like a 40-yard pass.
First time that's ever been done, probably.
By the way, this is shot from Maz's seat.
Yeah, this is a live look. Yeah, Maz was on his phone, having the video footage rolling right now. Right now, he's really mad after the Lions punch his touchdown pass in. Look at that. Maz is beside himself.
Terrible defense.
Yeah, so maybe they'll talk about it on the bottom line, too. We'll get some instant reaction from the Detroit Lions, 26-7, 1935 NFL championship win over the New York Giants. Somebody in the YouTube chat thread asked Fish, are you leaving Woodward Sports to do the Barstool Canadian Football League podcast full-time?
I am not.
Have you had any discussions?
I have not had any discussions.
Do we have you on a contract for exclusivity? Can you go anywhere if you
like
want?
MJF? Bidding War 2024.
Juice's Ghost says, LOL, Maz is old. So, yeah, no, he was. He was there. Dave Schultz said, I see Maz. He's right there. Detroit Dabber 313. Maz was 35 years old on the day that this game was played. So, Tammy Chin, poor Maz. It's not poor Maz. It was a lot of fun, though. Appreciate everybody tapping in, listening, contributing, all of it. Big thank you to Sawyer. Big thank you to Fish as well, and all of you, as we talked about. You guys make the show go. So, for DMAC, for Joik Bell, my name is Neil Rule. Joik, give it to him.
I'm going to give it to him. But make sure you guys come in. We're here all day until 10 o'clock tonight. Come here. Make sure you guys bring as many toys as you want. We're here at 10 o'clock right here at the Lady James, right here on Woodward. Come down to Woodward Sports. We're having a great time. Come drop off some toys for these beautiful and these encouraging kids. Like, keep encouraging them, and they're so courageous. We just want to make sure they know that they are being seen, and there's people out there with good hearts that care about them. So this is from the gang. Gang.
Lee Key Sr. says, nice job pulling up the video, Sawyer. So
Puckin
you're getting some love.
Hey, coming up.
Treat yourself to another donut. Stick around. Puckin' Around with DMAC is coming up next. Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy. Well, see you later.
Give me that biscuit. I'm going to bury that biscuit.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
It's now time for Pucking Around with 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty.
Takes a shot, McCarty! Darren McCarty has tied the game! He sure has.
Exclusively on the Woodward Sports Network. We are Detroit Sports.
What's up out there? DMAC here, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, and it is a Wednesday, December 15th, and this is your edition of Puckin' Around. What are we going to focus on today? Well, I don't know if you saw, but one of the things that Steve Yzerman, right, the little secret is what was he going to do with Robbie Fabry coming up as a restricted free agent? Well, he showed you what he was going to do, and I want to show you that sometimes first-round draft picks and how important it is that maybe they don't work out in some organizations, but they will be great for yours. Robbie Fabry, first-round draft pick, 21st overall in 2014 by the St. Louis Blues, is a perfect example of a guy that we need here. So just signing his 3-year, $12 million, $4 million a year. I want to show you a little history of Robbie Fabry and why he is an integral part of this team moving forward. So I'm going to take you back to his St. Louis days to show you, and if you've noticed the theme that we have to some of these Pucking Around is Sawyer, I like Sawyer to dig deep into showing you things of maybe what Steve Yzerman or the Red Wing, Kirk Maltby, Mark Howe, the scouts might have seen while playing in the other NHL teams. So what you can see here, highly skilled guy, knows for the net, has a finish, what you need, and a second-line centerman. So what you can see is the tenacity, the heads-up, different things like that, knows where the net is, can skate. You have to be able to skate and push the puck in this league. This is what he's able to do, and a nose for the net. That's a goal scorer's goal where you use the guys to scream. You've seen Lucas Raymond do it, but all the things have to go right there. That's something that Robbie Fabry can bring. Also to skating into the difficult areas. One of the things that you need in today's NHL is speed, scoring speed, being able to dive in off this side. Goal scorer's goal, skilled centerman and stuff like this. This is the things that obviously he did back then and he will continue to do here. Now, here's a little bit of the patience that he will show, the heads-up ability, being in the right spot at the right time. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he goes to some of the tough areas, and he ain't afraid to take a hit. Right, and you like the tenacity that he's going to stick up for himself. Now you have to understand, there it is, get up, go to the net, be rewarded, different things like that. But also killing penalties. Now, to be a great second-line centerman in this league, you got to play all throughout. Now, there's a little shout-out to my boy Bobby Ryan from back in last year, but it's also facilitating the puck, which Robbie Fabry can do. And he's only going to get better. Like you said, OHL kid, played in Guelph, played with Bertuzzi, played with Suter. He's got some edge to him, even though he's not the biggest guy, but he's tenacious. And this is what you like. You like heads-up play. You like work ethic. I think that, you know, some of the things that you see is why at $4 million, not only is he a great deal, but he's a guy that is an integral part of your secondary offense. So here's a little bit what you see they can do in the power play. Head up, left-handed pass. There's a nice play by Juice there. I believe that was exhibition, but last year. But just the fact where you're going to see him be smart. Look for him to make good passes like that, not only on the power play, but on the regular shift. So, again, fast forward it to this year in that first game, that's a goal scorer's goal right here. Guys on the outside, and goaltender can't really much do that. You like the way the guys have gone to the net, but again, sniper. So, if you're asking me what do you expect Robbie Fabry, is that, he's got to at least be a 65 point guy, maybe a 20-goal guy, but it's also what does he bring to the guys around him. So one of the things I wanted to show you, a little bit of a bonus play from last night. I mentioned where you see here Dylan Larkin scoring, but one of the things I want you to pay attention to is the power play, because I think Alex Tanguay, and they've mixed it up a little bit, and they're running it through Mo Sider on the point, which means Mo Sider will initiate a lot of the different plays like that, as you can see last night. So what I wanted to show is that they're never satisfied, right? No matter what it is, never satisfied. Probably wants that one back, but the fact that the power play needs to get better. They won last night. They scored a power play goal. Is it ironic? Don't you think? No, not me. So power play needs to go. Robbie Fabry, big part of the future of this team, and that is pucking around for this December 15th. Stay tuned. Big D Energy every day, 11 to 1. Joint Bell, Darren McCarty, Neil Rule. We will see you there. Thanks a lot. DMAC out.